Hello and welcome to today's session. Quick recap of yesterday, what happened. So those of you who were watching, I was basically playing around one of the levels. See if I can pull it up. Just uncheck that. So what did we have? We opened below this kind of structure here. Okay. So it looks like I was getting long from around this breakout short level. Yeah, so I got in long, on this candle here at the opening candle. One was a little higher off that cam level, the breakout short, I should say, and then we saw a nice rejection in that first 5 minutes off that level. This was the lowest point of the day, and basically what happened was the market continued up quite aggressively. It's well above the R3. So let's say we got in, what was that, sort of at the level, 500 points. So a 500 point move from where I got in. So even a little bit more if you look at, I guess, the bottom of that entry, but I didn't get in there, so it was 530 points odd. Massive move. So what that tells me is basically the analysis was absolutely on point in terms of the entry point. I did actually have a target profit that if it got connected, I would have passed already. And as you can see, I guess what happened was I got short, closed out basically at that close gap, or at the high and the close gap area. I closed out my position. It was $600 of profit. So I'll just see if I can zoom up a little bit. Zoom in. So I'm currently sitting at 600 odd profit. I've only got 400 profit to go to pass this this first phase of the challenge. But had I have held that trade, I would have already passed. So we can see 80% consistency score, which is great. 15 trading days. Max daily loss was 400. Max total loss is 467. And profit target, we've still got 400 to go. We'll see if we hit that today, but basically 400 points, 500 points I should say, from this area. And I kept getting in. I was moving my stops to break even. I wanted to not really take too much risk on this one, and basically kept moving my stops to break even. It finally took off, and after a while I saw the market was up quite high. It was rejecting, and I just wanted to get out at that point. Now, had I have remained in that trade, I think I only had to get to about this level up here to actually pass the account. So this move here was about $600. I probably only had to get up to this point here, but I just didn't have the confidence to hold that position. I was, $600 is very close. I've only got 400 to make, which is an excellent position to be in now. So I'm not unhappy about it. I then got in short at sort of the breakout long and R2 kind of level, hoping for a rejection down back to this previous day's high, but basically the market had other ideas and it just powered up. Massive movement. So anyone who just bought, particularly off that breakout short level, would have been absolutely killing it today. So well done to anybody who has done that. So yeah, stops to break even on this short position. I didn't want to go to bed thinking, it could go against me, which it did. So very fortunate that I did put stops in. Otherwise, I'd be in a lot of strife. I went in quite heavy as well. So stops to break even, nice tight trade. If it didn't work out, that's okay. So anyway, we're back here to for the next day of trading. We've got the DAX on a 5 minute, quite spread out in terms of the pivot points today. So we've got an extreme gap. So previous day's high could be a good target, as well as the previous day's close, even the pivot and the breakout short even. So we'll see if we get a bearish response today, or is the market just going to blindly keep rallying? So I'll just get rid of this. Oh, okay. All right, so we've got our Tradovate situation up here. And what we're looking for is, yes, hopefully if we get a nice big spike into the R2 or the R3 even, given yesterday's volatility, it'd be really nice to get a bit of a sell-off. It's just a bit tricky when the market has done such a massive rally to then go short the next day. So we'll just have to wait and see what the market does, more or less. Use the order flow. So it looks like 28, and you've got, is that 55? So 55 potentially aggressive buying because of the position of that order, followed by a lot of buying on this side as well. So perhaps the market isn't ready to go down. I would like to follow the normal protocol of going for the extreme gap, but given yesterday's just massive rally of 500 points from where we got in yesterday, I'll just have to wait and see and let the market dictate what my decision is, because at the end of the day, you've just got to follow what the market provides you. Have a quick look at the bigger charts. So monthly, we've just really powered higher, getting close to all-time highs. Now, some of the markets are at all-time highs. So there's 35 contracts going in now on the futures. Massive contracts for pre-market going in. Are they limit sells? I don't particularly think so. It looks more like aggressive buying, which could mean the market will continue higher. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not convinced about that. The FTSE, I'll just quickly show you the FTSE because that's quite interesting. Very similar layout overall. But on a weekly chart, look at that. We've hit all-time highs. We're up super high on the FTSE, and also the US 30, I believe, is last week it was all-time highs. Getting very close to that yearly breakout long level as well. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. Yearly R1, we're kind of playing around that level at the moment. So these are all the yearly levels, not daily, based on last year's high-low close. So anyway, we've got a minute till the open, so I'm just going to quickly go through. Look, 4 hour, if we spike up, we'll be outside the upper band. 1 hour is quite wide. 30 minute, we've got to really get up there to have any impact. So 1 minute to go, guys. Basically, I'm looking for, not really too sure. So if you missed the analysis, basically I'm looking for the extreme gap to be targeted. However, look at all these big contracts in here, 55, 35, and they're at the lower end of the bar on the ask side. So that indicates to me that that could potentially be aggressive buying. So people just flooding the market. Now, it could be limit sells, but I'm just not sure that that is the case. So we've kind of got to wait till the open. We're not at a super involved kind of level. We've got 10 seconds till the open. I've just got to open up my FTMO as well, so I'm ready. Okay. And thank you guys for joining as well. That looks bearish. That looks like a lot of selling coming in. But we might sort of reject off this R1. Just not taking any positions just yet. If we start to really push down below this structure, I will be looking for shorts. However, I do have concerns about these massive ask orders that have entered the market in pre-market. So they're huge on that futures exchange. I might zoom in also just to see the FDAX Mini, because that can often provide some insight that the full contract section doesn't offer. Look, I'm going, oh, whoops. Okay, what happened there? I accidentally hit sell when I wanted to buy. Look, I'm thinking I'm just going to hit buy for now. If we come down again, I'll get out. But yeah, we'll see if we start having just... sometimes the DAX just blindly goes up. It just goes up massively for no reason that I can understand. Look, actually, I might close this position. I don't really... It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's going up. I'll bring my stops to break even. How about that? I don't really want to be in the market when it's a bit confusing and kind of volatile like this. It's better to just wait for more certain trading conditions. I am in long, but I don't particularly want to stay in this position. I'm not sure where the market's going, and that's not really a wise trading move. So I've got my stops at break even. If it comes back, it comes back. But at this price point, I don't really know what to expect here. It's up $20. I might just bring the stops break even up a little bit higher so I can take some slippage and still be in profit. After yesterday, the reason I'm a bit hesitant is because look at this just massive move yesterday. So we bought down here. I got out here. It's about 100 points actually. That's quite a good move. But then when you look at the full scale of it, 500 points. It's just massive, massive move. Ignored, well, more or less ignored the R3. Had a bit of a rejection, but not really off the R2 and breakout long. And yeah, 500 points quite easily. So that's why I've hit buy. Just experiencing the DAX's mighty bullish nature here. And if it comes back, it comes back. I'm not too concerned about that. We've got 22 contracts there. Look, I don't think we're really going to get much of a good trade here today, because I think if the market just simply powers up, there's no real good entry points, particularly when I expect the market to, I guess, fill the gap at some point. The extreme gap, which is this level here, the high at 24161, and then the close at some point as well, 24,115. Now we are moving up. I'll be watching for a big ask order on this side indicating a sell limit, or a lot of aggressive selling coming in on the bid side, in which case I will close my position. For now, I'm not really seeing a great lot of selling, even though the price is coming down. So it's kind of even at this point in time. And you know, this one really is it's a bit of a punt. So if I do see an indication that we are likely to start moving south, though, I will hit the button and exit this position. There's 10 contracts there on the ask side. Look, I don't think that's big enough to move it, but it could, simply because we've kind of got a double top up here. I'll just zoom in so we can see what we're working with. Now, look, all things point that this will go short from here. And it's likely I'll just get stopped out at break even, which is fine. Still in the position for now. But basically, I've seen the DAX just blind buy for an unknown sort of reason. I don't really understand why it just powers up. You know, nothing's really changed in public knowledge. So really, it's just about following that trend. Look, that looks like aggressive buying too. So 14 contracts. I don't think it's a sell limit. I think it's more buying. So somebody's putting a lot of money into this market, potentially. So remember, Trader Dale's book, it teaches us that both bid and ask can have buyers and sellers. So it's about figuring out, of that 14 on the ask side, is that a limit sell or an aggressive market order buyer? So that's the difference there. Is it a limit or a market order? So market orders are buying on the ask side, whereas limit orders are selling on the ask side, and vice versa on the bid side. So we're moving up. Look, if we get up, I might even just close. It's about $40. There we go, $40. We've kind of hit that double top sort of area again. So I closed for $40. So I'm now sitting at $10,644 in the account. I've got $356 to now hit target. If I do see the market move quite quickly into one of these levels, I may look to get in, but just at present, I'm not seeing value. So I don't want to wreck the good trading from yesterday, where I'm up now $600. I think I started the day, I'll just pull that up. What did I have? Custom period. I'm just going to check yesterday's trading. So less $40. Yeah, so $500 odd, $590 I made yesterday on this account. And I don't want to wreck that by trading in a market that doesn't have a clear indication of what direction we're going to take. My normal insight would be to short from, say, the breakout long. If we had a nice rejection, some good intel on the order flow that we are going to go down. But because of this massive move, I've been hit by the DAX before where I've shorted thinking, it can't possibly go any higher, and it just continues up. So, hi Christopher, thanks for coming back. I noticed you kind of made it at the end of the session yesterday. Those entries were really good. I don't know if you caught the sort of info session of what I did yesterday, but we kind of hit the very bottom of the market when we were getting in at this level down here. So it's the breakout short. Current price, it's 500 points away. I got out at the close or the high sort of area, so I made about 100 points, so $600. But the issue for me is that I could have actually passed if I just held the position all the way. But $600 is a good position to be in. I've only got 400 now to make. And I'll just zoom in on what's going on right now. If we can break this low, there might be an opportunity to get short. On the flip side, we may just have another blind buying day, that's the reason I'm a bit hesitant to get in at this point in particular. I don't want to buy from here because I think the market should go down, but ultimately there could well be quite a bit of buying from this point as well. So today it's a bit unclear. It's not like yesterday. I had a particular direction in mind. I was quite confident and I kept having a few stabs. I think I had about 4 or 5 trades off that breakout short level yesterday before it actually took off without hitting my stops at break even. So and remember guys, your likes do really help help keep me motivated coming back, sharing my experience and how the FTMO prop firm works, how trading with order flow and the pivot points works in a live setting. So and you guys help me as well because I'm showing you what I'm doing. I say what I'm thinking, and then if I don't trade it, like earlier in some of the sessions, like last month, I wasn't actually trading in line with what I was saying, and it was really frustrating to look back on what I said, the analysis, and it was spot on, only to not actually place the trade. So very frustrating in that sense, but I do really appreciate you guys coming back and being a part of what I'm doing here. It does mean a lot, so thank you. As I mentioned, so I'm not keen on getting long or short from this point. I guess you could make a bit of money in this space, but it's 50 points. If it breaks outside of these levels, you could be in for a wild ride. So I'm just not really looking to get in within these levels. I want it to either break short or get a really good indication that we're going to go long off this R1 level potentially. But what I need is for that order flow to actually indicate that. So that would be by means of something like a 55 order at the bottom of the candle. Yeah, futures is quite interesting, particularly because you see the order flow coming through like this. It's a bit faster than stocks, I think. It's very liquid, obviously depending on what stock you look at. But I find it really quite helpful to understand the overall index to then go down and identify value in stocks. Hi, the sleeve DJ, thanks for checking in. So I'm just watching the DAX, the German 40 at the moment, for any opportunity where if we're going to break down, need a lot of sellers to come in and actually, I guess, reverse what's happened. Yesterday, that big 500 point move off where we bought yesterday, made 100 points out of it, but left 400 points on the table. So that's, it's pretty wild to think. At the same time, I'm only $400 off target for the FTMO account. Got a bit of activity here. This looks like it might be the high forming potentially. So we've got an ask order of 36, 17, and then 25, each getting lower. So it's potentially limit orders coming in to then sell down, and then followed by aggressive selling on the bid side. The alternative, of course, is that these are people buying and they're getting in at a lower price, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's sort of at the highs, and it's not quite what I'm looking for. Do I have a video explaining the layout? I actually don't. So I guess it varies every day. So these pivot points, I will make one though. Thank you for the idea. But basically, I use these pivot points. They're based on high-low close values of the previous day from the official cash charts. So I plot these every day, and they're different every single day. I've also got yearly levels, same basis, but off the yearly data. And they kind of form a bit of a framework. So you can see here the pivot point from that pivot rejection to where we are now, it's 5,000 points. So that was the tariff move. We come down, tapped that pivot point, took about 150 points of heat off that level, and we just stormed. So yeah, over 5,000 points if you bought off that pivot. So I do the yearly levels just as an indication as well. Now, where these pivot points land kind of guides my judgment as to what overall direction I'm looking for, what levels I want to see a rejection off, and if I want to get a target of, say, the high or the close gap, that's important too. But then if these levels, for example, the R1 breakout long and R2 or the previous day's high are really close together and really tight, I kind of see that as confluence. It's like makes them stronger because they're all together, and hopefully form a bit more reason for the greater market to actually reject off that level. That's kind of the basis of what I look for in the pivot points. And then what I use the order flow for is trying to understand who the buyers and sellers are, supply and demand, that kind of thing, on the full contract. So the FDAX full contract for this quarter, and also the mini DAX, because sometimes the mini DAX actually has the information before the major future does. So it's good to watch both. You never know if you just get that extra hint, it can really help you out. So either by staying in a good trade, or getting out of or avoiding a trade altogether that you shouldn't be in. Every little sort of, if you miss one bad trade, you obviously could be in a lot better position because of that. So it is worth, for me anyway, it's been worth having the order flow. It's a bit of a pain to kind of learn and get used to, but I think it's been worth it. The platform, so this is just MetaTrader 5, pretty much all CFD brokers, including FTMO, so the prop firm. They use MT5, so I've just got Bollinger Bands. I'll see if I can get the properties up. So 30 period and 2.2. Sometimes I'll use a 2.6 as well, just depending on what's going on. Over here we've got Tradovate, so this is the futures. Now the reason futures is good is because it all goes through a centralized exchange. And what that means is every participant in this particular market has to go through that exchange, meaning that we know exactly we know what orders are going in and out of the market, and then we can use the order flow to actually determine the likely thought pattern of what they're up to. So if I can find a good example, so up here, this 25 contract, we kind of went past a little bit, and then 25 from that point, this order here, we've basically gone down, and that tells me that it's likely an aggressive seller has come in, hit the market, and then followed by more selling to come in, and that's held. So this looks like selling, and you're basically trying to paint a picture of the whole scenario. Now, to get this level 2 data, or like the order flow for the DAX, you actually need the Eurex package. I've got a link, I think there's a link in the description of this video on how to get the Eurex. That might be something there. 14 contracts. If that's aggressive selling, it could be a limit buyer sending the market back long. But if that's aggressive selling, hopefully we'll get through this level, the R1, and there might be quite a bit of thin volume to take us down to this previous day's high. Now Tradovate, so you've got to get the Eurex to get the DAX level 2 data. You just add on the order flow as a free add-on. Oh, nice, awesome. And then basically I can get this access with Apex Trader Funding, which is it's a futures prop firm. So yeah, if you've got the order flow, I think it's very helpful. Yeah, perfect. Does yours go further than this depth of market here? Because normally I like to see all of the order flow, like if there's any limit orders up higher, I really like to see that, but this platform doesn't show it from what I can see. So it goes only, sort of 10 points away. So it seems like the entire market is a bit unsure of where we want the market to go. After yesterday's massive rally, the shorters are probably quite scared to get in front of a move like that, even though it happened yesterday. They're probably a little bit hesitant, as I am, to take this market all the way down to the extreme gap. It's a high probability target, but at the same time, sometimes the DAX just rallies for whatever reason. Money floods into it and it just powers up. So really just quite a boring session. I do apologize for the market not doing anything too exciting, but that is the market. We had an excellent trading day yesterday. Basically got the bottom, and here is a bit of momentum. If we can break this level and start to move quite quickly, I might be tempted to get short, but I'll have my finger on the trigger to get out quite quickly as well, because I don't want to be sitting in a trade that's just going to blind buy, and that can happen with the DAX. So that's my hesitation. Just going to watch the order flow and see if we can get any more signs of aggressive selling from this point. So this looks like buying, but we've got some sellers coming in. We need a lot more. And if we can reject off this R1, it would be ideal, but there is a chance we'll just head long again and just stay within this range. Very boring trading day today. The market may want to catch out traders that are very excited from yesterday's activity and think, I can do this regardless of what's going on in the market. That's why patience is key. So there's a good chance I'm not going to make another trade here today. It's kind of just meandering around, and there's a good chance that I would make a mistake if I was to get in while it's kind of moving within this range. Yeah, excellent. So yeah, futures is it's an interesting market, and reading the order flow, I don't know if you read the order flow too much, but the book by Tradovate kind of explains it a lot better than anywhere that I've seen so far. I've done a lot of courses and I guess read quite a few books on trading, and that Tradovate one for order flow was really quite helpful. It simplified it, it gave examples, and so links in the description for that one, but it sort of helped me understand what I should be looking for. And a lot of the time, you're not looking at every individual order, you're actually looking at the overall picture of what the market is doing overall. So you're building up evidence for one direction or the other at particular price points. Also, sometimes the volume profile is quite helpful. What do we have here? So 10 contracts there. That could be more buying coming in. It's quite strange activity here. I'm not sure what to make of that. So 10, so quite a lot of potential limit sells there, followed by what looks like maybe an aggressive seller. But it's still only quite small volume. So compared to what we saw in pre-market, look at that, 55, ask order 35, and then up here 28. It looks like, and then 36. It looked like a lot of buying coming in. And particularly after yesterday, it's just not something that I want to get in the way of. As I mentioned, I guess in the pre-market, yesterday's trading, I'll just go back and show what happened. I was trying to get a nice rejection off the breakout long in the R2 after I'd made about $590 odd. I then tried to get short from up here to target the high, but it just didn't work out. So, getting short in conditions like this where it's almost vertical, it's just not something that I really want to do. And it's probably going to be a case of come back tomorrow and see what the market offers. Very slow, it's very ranging. Now, while this is 50 points, it's just not clear as to what's going to happen. I think, with that extreme gap there, it is a risk for anyone going long. And then for anyone going short, there's the risk of similar activity to yesterday where the market just powers up. So just being aware, today may not be the best trading day, depending on your style. But it's definitely something that I'm probably going to just sit out for today. Yeah, so yesterday all I got, so it was 100 points. So I got in around this level at the open. So we saw a nice spike. I saw that as a good indication to start buying up and target the close gap. Got up there. I think I sold around the high and closed. So it was 111 points, 115 odd points. So I got out here and then I tried to short it from here. It stops to break even once it moved because I wasn't confident. But basically I missed out on 400 points because I got out too early. I'll just see if I can zoom out a little bit further. So yeah, I got in here got out at this point here, so 100, maybe it was 120 points, but then the market just powered on up the rest of the day, 500 points. It's a massive, massive move. And now basically we're just getting some consolidation here today. There may not be too many decisions going on, perhaps a bit of confusion as to why the markets are powering up from these massive high points. And it's not spiking into anything either. So if we spiked into the breakout long, saw an indication that the order flow was suggesting will turn around, I might look at getting short, but we're just not really seeing that indication. And if I was getting in and out of this market, I think there's a good chance that I would make a mistake at some point and then wreck all of the gains that I got yesterday just because I'm guessing effectively. So I'd rather wait for the market to really give me a good setup. There's plenty of good setups every single month, and it's much better to wait. So it's always on the setups that don't quite look right and you have a go, that seem to, I guess, wreck the account. So yeah, I'm going to call it there, guys. Yeah, I'm going to start trying to just leave runners in. Better said than done, but I always end up sort of closing when I think, this is quite a good point, and then often it will continue on. But I'd much rather, I guess, close out and take a good amount of profit off the table than to have it come all the way back and stop me out at break even, and then I'm no closer to my target. So I'm still happy with what happened. It's just a bit unfortunate that I did get out when I did, but at the same time, it's okay. So I'm probably going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Remember, your likes and comments really do help me, and keep me motivated, and know that it's appreciated that I'm coming in and sharing, I guess, what I'm seeing at the very least, and my experience with prop firms. So be sure to send me a like if you do enjoy what I'm presenting here. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with a better market condition. Getting out with half. That probably would have been smarter, but then I guess you kind of dilute the whole point of it. And I know a lot of good traders do get out at half, but at the same time, I just don't really. I think I don't have the patience for that myself. I normally stop. Look, if there's a really good trade and I'm in and out quite quickly, I will just end the session after, say, 5 minutes, and I'll say, look, I don't think there's any other trades that are worth looking at because we've had a good run. I will sit and watch the market for generally about 20 minutes to half an hour if I think something might happen. And even if I don't, I'll try and sit there and just watch just in case, because often the market can, for example, right now nothing's happening, but if we spiked right up all of a sudden into the R3, saw a really good indication of selling coming in, it would completely change the landscape, and that's why I kind of hang around and check it out. But today is just, I think after yesterday's massive move, the market's a little bit spooked and we're just consolidated. So good morning, Trek Lord. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you for coming and watching these sessions. That's probably it for me today. I think we're just going to range unless we break out. So I don't think I can really add too much value for you guys today. So hopefully tomorrow we'll see how the pivot points land. And then hopefully we'll get really good order flow indications that the market is going to respect those levels. Good morning, guys. Thank you all for coming to watch this session. Probably one of the most boring market starts for the DAX. I think the market really tried to to suck people in from yesterday's trading to say, oh, okay, what if that happens again? Can we have another awesome day? But maybe it will happen later in the session. But yeah, I won't hold you guys up any longer. I will be back tomorrow, and I appreciate you all for watching. Good luck with your trading. Goodbye.